Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Kalika. If you're new here, thanks for being here. Today I wanted to talk about some words that get redefined by network marketing and MLM reps. If you've ever wondered why people can get duped by these companies or how they logically make sense of what they're a part of, it's oftentimes because these companies do culty things like redefine words and make up their own language. And so as part of the indoctrination process, you kind of learn this verbiage, and certain things get redefined and certain lines get like kind of blurry. And this is how the company tricks the reps into kind of buying into the ideologies, but then also kind of how they keep them involved, and then how reps use this logic to justify what they're doing, even though they're honestly kind of blinded. There are a few words that I wanted to talk about because I noticed since I've gotten out, I'm like, that does not mean what they told us it means. So I want to talk about that. So first up, edification. Edification was taught to me very early on when I was learning how to build my business. They describe it as a way of building respect for your upline to your prospect. So for an example, you join the business. Now you don't know how to recruit people, how to get people interested, how to show them the plan, and each company has their own system of doing that. And so when you're brand new, your upline is supposed to help you until you learn how to do this on your own. And so they talk about edifying your uplines. What happens is you're trying to present your upline as a credible third party to add validation to what you're doing here, because sometimes you may not have that credibility with the person that you're showing, or maybe it's your best friend. They've seen you do the stupidest things in your life, so maybe they're not going to take you so seriously when it comes to business advice. And so this is why you want to introduce your upline as this credible third party. And so they say you should edify your upline. And what they mean by that is you're supposed to say all these really great things about your upline to make them seem really important, so that when they start talking, your prospect has a reason to listen. There's like a very specific way you're supposed to do this. They give you accomplishments to list off that are going to paint them in a good light. And you also want to edify your prospect a little bit so that they don't feel bad about themselves, but not more than you edify your upline. So you're supposed to systematically and manipulatively give praise so that your prospect will listen to your upline instead of just being like, why would I listen to this bozo? It doesn't matter if your upline's a bozo. A lot of times they are. But you're supposed to say all these great things about them. You kind of share their before and after story. They've been in business for so long. They have a team of so many people. They've spoken on these stages. They've been full-time in this business for this long. They're a man of God. They're a woman of God. They're a great mother. Wow, such a compassionate person. Usually you want to throw, if they do have like a certification, a degree or something, you want to throw that in there. So that's what they call edification. After I left, I'm like, holy shit, that's not what it means at all. In reality, what they really mean is they want you to deify that person, as in worship them or treat them like a god. This just gets amplified at those conventions. Top leaders are treated like freaking royalty. I mean, I cringe when I think of how much I looked up to somebody just because they were at a certain rank in the company, even though there could have been really shitty human beings, and some of them were. The real meaning of edification means to like morally instruct, educate a disciple, like spiritually guide them. It's completely redefined. They're saying put them on a pedestal. That's what they mean. Retire. Retire is another one that just really gets me. The team I was on was called Retired at 20 because these young 20-year-olds started building teams when they were in their 20s, either left college or didn't really go to college, and then never really went into the workforce because they had income coming in from this. And so they built a team called Retired at 20. When in reality, that is not what retirement means. Retirement literally means to cease to work, to stop working, not to be working your MLM, shilling things on social media, going live every single day, hopping on team calls, hopping on Zoom calls, making sales, closing deals. That is not retirement. That's like switching industries. That's like changing jobs. That's all it is. You can retire your spouse. You can retire your husband. You can retire your wife. What if they love what they do, but it's pitched as like another dream? What the companies really want you to do that for is so that you become reliant on that company. So this is how they keep top earners from leaving. Because if you get your spouse to quit their job and you quit your job and then you have 6 figures coming in from this, when you realize how unethical it is, it still is that much harder for you to leave because that is your sole source of income. Vulnerability is another one that just, this one really makes me mad because vulnerable people, they need a helping hand. They don't need to be preyed upon. Now, real vulnerability is like being open to danger. You don't want to be actually physically vulnerable. This is when you feel like your life is at stake, like real vulnerability. Emotional vulnerability is a great communication tool with people that you know, people that you are close to. You should practice emotional vulnerability, like opening up, feeling your feelings, processing them, being able to communicate them effectively to the people around you, having those difficult conversations with the people that you love so that you can address life's challenges and not destroy a relationship. That is healthy emotional vulnerability. Now, vulnerability has been taken by MLM reps, and it is constructed oversharing in order to manipulate. That's what it is. People tell a sad, sappy story where they tell a pain point in their lives or a time when they were down in order to emotionally manipulate the person that they're telling that story to. Either to say, this is what I went through. If I can do it, you can too. Whether it is to say, these products are what helped me get out of that vulnerable place in my life. When somebody opens up about their life, there's like this natural reciprocal desire to also share something. That's how relationships are built organically. You slowly start to open up to people. But oftentimes, people will overshare too early. You're like, why is somebody talking about all of this from stage or online? It's not because they just need to talk about it. If they needed to talk about it, they should go to the person they needed to talk to, or they should go to therapy. But they're sharing it on a public platform in order to manipulate their audience. So vulnerability, authenticity is another very similar one. Being authentic, being raw, being real. But everything in MLM is the complete opposite of authentic. Everything is constructed. Everything has a motive behind it. And that motive is to recruit people or get more people into the world of their organization. Investing. You can invest money, obviously. And yes, you can invest time and resources and energy and things like that too. But they say buying a starter pack is investing in your business. That's not investing in your business. That's purchasing a product. They tell you to invest in training, which those training sessions are really more like indoctrination sessions. So then you're paying to become more indoctrinated. But every time you're putting more time and money into the company, they call that investing in your business. Now you're spending your time, you're spending your money, you're spending your energy, you're investing your emotions. You get emotionally attached to this stuff too. So instead of actually using investing as a term to stay rooted in objectivity and logic and returns, they call it all just investing in your business for the hope of some big payout later. Business owner gets Redefined. I love this one because they basically tell you you're an independent business owner when you sign up to be a rep for this company. That is not the case. You are not a business owner. You are an independent sales rep, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can be a commission-based sales rep, but they tell you you're a business owner because they want you to feel empowered to make this your own, but then they're also putting all the responsibility on you. This is sneaky. Because even though they're in charge of pricing, they're in charge of rollouts, they're in charge of the comp plan, they're in charge of if the company shuts down, they're in charge of branding, they're in charge of, you're not making any decisions on your own. The company's doing that. The owner of that company is the business owner, but they tell you you're the business owner so that you take all responsibility. So this is how they can put it on you if you don't see success. Oh, if it's not working, it's on you. But they have told you that so that you take the blame for their model not making you any money. Their business model is not making you any money by design, but this way you take all the blame for it. CEO is another similar one. The company has its own CEO. If you look up CEO of your company, there's somebody's name that's going to pop up, and it's not going to be your own because you're not the CEO of your own business. And they tell you that so that you start to brand yourself. You start to wrap your identity up in your business. And so this all just keeps you more indoctrinated. It keeps it harder for you to leave, and it keeps you taking all the responsibility for everything that goes wrong, when in reality, you really have no control over anything that a business owner would handle, anything a CEO would handle, but also you have very limited control over your own income because it's really not based off of how hard you work or your mindset or your belief. It's based off of how many people you have in your downline and whether those people decide to stay or to leave. Passive income and residual income are also terms that are redefined. Passive income is literally money that you're not working for. When your investments grow, that's passive income. And I would be hard pressed to say that that's completely passive too, because you have to manage it, or somebody does. Residual income. Again, this could be like selling a book or having a movie, getting paid royalties, those kinds of things. But that's not what you make in MLM. The money is definitely not passive. You have to continue to work, continue to recruit, train your team, get on calls, keep people involved, keep pitching the dream, keep casting vision, keep showing up to trainings, keep spending your money, keep staying active. You have a lot to do. It's definitely not passive. If you actually get to a point where you're able to step away from your business for an extended period of time, it's because you've recruited so many people underneath you and you have people that are at the same level as you. You're not only at the top of the company, but you also have other people at the top of the company that are still working, that are helping you keep your rank. Then I guess it could technically be passive, but it's based off the efforts of other people. It's not because you have an asset that is generating passive income. This is work that other people are doing that you're getting paid off of because you've recruited them. Nice. So, and this they tell you in the context of when you're like afraid to reach out to people, you invest in people and then they don't want to do it anymore. Or somebody strings you along, they say they're going to buy and then they don't. And you don't want to follow up with them again, or you don't want to be pushy. Every time you feel like, I just want to be nice, they already said no, they already said they don't have the money for it, they already said they don't want me to follow up with them anymore. They tell you to stop being nice. They're saying that if you're being nice, nothing inside you cares enough. And if you really cared about that person, you would go out there and you would reach out to them one more time, because people's lives change in 3 months. Every 3 months, people's lives could be in a drastically different place. So if you don't follow up with them, you're just being too nice and nothing inside you cares enough. What if you reached out to them and this was the time that they were ready to start their business and they could change their life? I know there's people I shouldn't have followed up with. I know there's people that I really shouldn't have ever pitched because it was just like the cringiest thing ever and it was just so awkward. But when you're told this enough times, it's like, well, what do I have to lose? Let me just ask. Who knows? They might be down. And so words, even like nice, get redefined. When you think you're being nice by respecting somebody's boundaries, instead you're being told that nothing inside you cares enough. Posture. Posture is another one. My rank makers will love this. So posture, right? When I think of posture, it's like how I'm holding my body. Have your chin up and have your chest out and have your shoulders back. Even if we're talking about confidence, how you carry yourself. But in MLM, even the word posture gets redefined. So if you're in Rank Makers, Ray Higdon, he said, what did he say that posture was? The belief in what you have, regardless of external acceptance or approval. So essentially just being defensive. That's the best way I could describe it, is being defensive of your MLM business. Having posture on your business, meaning it doesn't matter how many people out there tell you that it's a scam and nobody believes in you and people try to tell you it's a cult or it's a pyramid scheme. You have to have posture on your business, which means you have to have belief in what you have, regardless of external acceptance or approval. Even outside of Rank Makers, my company had similar verbiage around posture, posturing up around your business. Again, I think being defensive is the best definition. They'd give examples. They'd be like, well, if somebody came up to you and said that your baby was ugly, would you just be like, oh, I guess my baby's ugly. I'm gonna go cry in a corner now. No, you'd be like, well, screw you. I think my baby's beautiful. I don't care what you say. So they use that as an example, but it's essentially being defensive, being so defensive about something that you're gonna clap back. So basically having a witty comeback is what posture is. It's not how you carry yourself around what you're doing. It's hard, when we're talking about the real definition of posture, it's hard to be really postured about network marketing because there's this icky feeling in you every time. For me, every time I tried to pitch somebody, every time I got to that recruitment slide, every time I showed the little timing and placement slide about how when you get in at the right time, it'll make a huge difference. If Bob gets in before you and he recruits 100 people, then those 100 people aren't going to be on your team. But if you get in before Bob, I couldn't have posture around that slide because it felt icky. Something about that slide felt icky and wrong to me because it is. That was in my cognitive dissonance around what the fuck am I doing here? But that's where they tell you to have posture because you kind of get down on yourself. You kind of do feel like you're doing something shady. And that's why they have to talk about it in training because scamming people does beat you down, makes you feel bad about yourself and for good reason. So I think those are all the words that I have that I feel like get redefined the most in MLMs. I know that there are more. So let me know, what did I miss? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please like and comment and subscribe if you want to see more of my content, and I'll catch you next time.